Hi, Shalom friends. Have you heard any good news lately? If it's going to take you a while to think of the answer, then it's pretty sad. That means you haven't. I would like to suggest that all of the news that we're hearing is very good. Now, before you get upset with me, let me try to explain that radical statement. And I'd like to do it through a story of the Talmud. Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania, one of the great sages of Israel, was traveling to a city. He came to a crossroads, and of course there were arrows going in both directions. And he saw a young fellow, a boy, sitting, and he said, which of these two roads can I take so I can reach my destination? The boy said to the rabbi, well, both of them will bring you to your destination. However, there's a short, long way and a long, short way. Which one do you want? Well, the rabbi said, obviously, I'd like the short way. So he points him in the right direction. It's a straight, unencumbered road. And as he's getting closer to his destination, he sees orchards and trees. It's so beautiful. When he finally reaches his destination, there's a wall, but there is no door. And he realizes that there's no way that he could enter. So he retraces his steps, and the boy is still sitting there. And he says, well, why did you tell me to go there? He said, well, I didn't lie. You reached your destination. And I told you it's a short, long way. Short because he got there very quickly, long because he had to retrace it. Well, the rabbi was not angry at all. He was very impressed. Not only that the boy was clever, but that he was intelligent. And he kissed him. And he said, wow, the Jewish people are wonderful. They have sages not only in age, but even young people are filled with wisdom. And of course, doesn't continue the story, but the story is he went the longer way, but when he reached the city, there was a door which he entered. Every story of the Talmud has many possible interpretations and eternal truths. Let me share what I think is the main part of the story. And I would like to first ask the question, not that the boy was clever, but what intelligence did the rabbi see in retrospect after the boy told him that there's a short, long way and a long, short way? What intelligence is there in that? Well, as in my field, people come to me and they'd like me to perform a marriage. Okay, so here's a hypothetical which happens. The fellow is in his 40s. Rabbi, I'd like you to perform the marriage. I found a wonderful woman. She's 32 and everything's great. And as I'm talking with him in the premarital counseling, I say, you're such a fine individual. What took you so long? Why are you getting married in your 40s? Didn't you go out in the past? Didn't you have satisfying relationships? Didn't you connect? And the answer is yes, yes, yes. But after some 10 or 12 years of this type of life, I realize that's not what I want. What I want is a family, a home. I'm not looking for glamour or even necessarily for beauty. I'm looking for goodness. I'm looking for a woman that I could dedicate my life with and to build a family and a home. Imagine 12 years of being out there, having his heart both inflamed and broken many, many times over. It's a long process, but he comes to this truth. I'm sure you've met people that have very well educated and they have not 1 degree but 2. So we would ask this person, you spent 6 years in getting a degree in engineering, so why did you go into biology? Another degree. And he says, I'll tell you the truth, after 6 years I realized that's not what I wanted. And we see this constantly, people working very hard, very motivated to get into a certain profession. And then certainly sometimes after many years and sometimes after just a couple of months, they say, that's not what I want. What is the message over here? The message is sometimes to get to the entrance of a city, you have to go the short but long way. Why do I call it the short but long way? Let's go back. Why did you go into this profession? Well, all my friends were going into it, or my parents had encouraged me to go there. It seemed the logical thing to do. It was a short path from where I was to get to where I want to be. But then I realized that when I finally reached the destination, I didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't go into it, and I had to retrace my steps. I had to change my direction. But the fact that I changed my direction ultimately led to a more fulfilling response. So there's a short way and a long way and a long, short way. What is the long, short way? Well, the poet said it well, I took the path less traveled. The long, short way means going against what seems to be easy or logical even. You have to take a step back and say, what is right? Where do I want to be? Not tomorrow, but in 5 years from now. What kind of a relationship do I consider something that will be fulfilling in the long term, not in a short term? It might take a while till you get to that conclusion. It's a long way. But when you get through the long way, then it's short, because what you decide becomes real and very, very pertinent to you at that time. So where's the good news that I promised? Well, the good news is as follows. In the short way of looking at life, people that are civilized, people that are well-educated, people that are very open, these are people that are understanding, these are people that are accepting, these are people that have a straight mind. People in the arts are more spiritual. That's the short story. And then you realize that we're living in a world where all of what we were fed, primarily that those that are welcome diversity are very open to you personally, and to those that are very well educated, and the universities are the places of higher thinking and more acceptance, we see it's not true. It's simply not true. So what we have over here is the short step turns into really a much longer journey until we realize that this is not leading us into the destination, so we have to change direction. I'm not sure I'm making my point very clear, so let me point it out in really very, not coarse, but very, very open language. When I listen to the news about Israel, for some 50-odd years or more, Israel has been saying to the world, we're America's strongest ally. Support us. We're the only democracy. Support us. We're the only country that has so much LGBTQ, whatever it might be. We really welcome and celebrate diversity. So support us. We're the people that have created so much technology and so much beauty and so much improvement in medicine, so support us. And on and on. All logical stuff. And you would think that the people that hear this message saying, it's true. They are the only democracy. They are the only welcoming country. They really are the strongest ally. They really are so much like Western culture. And yet, what do we find? It boomeranged. Boomeranged. Where we are accused of everything negative. And it's spilt over to the average person in the Western society. That Jewish people are this type of negative. Why don't we tried the short, but it's really very long. Now it's time to walk back. What should we say? We are spiritual people. We are godly people. We are unique people. We are God's people. And God gave us a land. And in that land, we develop and we produce. And through that land, we are able to give blessing and bestow blessings. And those that bless you will be blessed. In particular now, we're fighting enemies. We're fighting for our lives. We don't need your acquiescence to allow us to exist. All we want you is to acknowledge the nobility of what we've accomplished until now and the majesty of what we will do in the future. Will it go well on CNN? Does it sound political or diplomatic to call enemies and to call attention to your uniqueness? I don't know the world of politics or lies. I do know that the short way has turned into the longer way because we haven't entered the city. But if we go back and we retrace our steps and instead take the longer path, it will be the shorter path. So where's the good news? The good news is we see the hypocrisy, we see the lie, we see the illogical reasoning, which leads us closer to the truth. And that is good news. Shalom.